So Jorgen, another pillar of the blueprint is providing mental health and suicide prevention literacy, something that Mates has been doing really well for about 13 years now. Can you tell us a little bit more about how a company might tackle that particular pillar on site?
I think this is a really, really important one, because we can't actually deal with an issue we can't talk about. We started 14 years ago and nobody talked about mental health, and people were really worried about talking about mental health. But slowly we have actually become more and more comfortable by doing this across industry. Now, each of those things we can actually do in a microcosm within the companies as well. If we as a workplace set up a really clear expectation that in this workplace we actually talk about this. It's actually part of the conversation, it's part of our pre-start, it's part of our induction processes, it's part of, so it becomes part of the natural conversation. If we start talking about suicide as a natural conversation on site, we also start thinking it's okay to asking people, are you all right? And we can then connect them up to help. And we actually get to save a whole heap of lives, which is a great thing to do.
And again, it's often quite systematic, so it's the whole site having that process in place. It's not just a couple of individuals, it's everybody.
It's about sending clear messages out. This is what we do in this place. This is the culture of this workplace, there's a culture of this business, that we talk about these kind of things.
So one company that is doing this is Evansbuilt. So we're now going to hear from Sean about how his team is implementing this across their company.
My name is Sean Evans, Director at Evansbuilt. We're a commercial building contractor based here on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. We're PQC qualified for the state government. We do a lot of government schools, etc. We do a lot of work for another developer doing commercial office space, medical, etc. We operate all over the state, and we have a smaller office in northern New South Wales. 10 years as Evansbuilt now. We were originally another family-based company as Evans Harch, which my dad and his business partner started back in 1977, which we exited in 2011, and here we are now as Evansbuilt. Yeah, I started with Evans Harch in 2000, and not long after that the Mates program came across our desk. I thought it was a wonderful idea for the industry. Obviously I'd seen a little bit of the data and been exposed to suicide myself in families, so we jumped on board and we were a fairly early adopter. We rolled a lot of GAT training with our teams, etc.
I'm Matt Murphy from Evansbuilt. I'm the site manager on the site here, and roles and responsibilities to run the site and make sure everyone's safe. So we've had mates come in early on at the job. So Erin came round, we all sat around with our 1.5 metre distancing, and she ran us through the GAT course, which was really good.
At this stage we've been decided to, recently we made an agreement that we're going to run GAT training across all of our sites. So in between the implementation of the rollout of the project with the project manager, we'll look at the appropriate time to get yourselves in. Obviously the new training you have with the smaller format is going to be something we can roll a little bit earlier with 10 people, whereas we were always trying to look at when are we going to have 40 people on board to make it effective for all. So it's wonderful to see that new introduction of that additional smaller sized early intervention. Number one, it's just awareness. If you've sat the training, you'll see the hands go up, you'll see the eyes light up, and realise that how prevalent it is, and also how approachable people are once it starts being conversed. I know obviously there's sometimes a stigma attached, and people are concerned about well, maybe it's a problem with me, etc. So whereas just understanding the pressures in lives these days, what's going on around you, and all those things that just bind you up sometimes, it's people aren't happy, but they're a little bit more comfortable to talk about it and finding out. On site it will be with the subcontractors and our team. We've recently done GAT training for our entire office, so it's sort of started here with our headquarter site, and then we'll continue to touch each of the new sites that we roll out. We've been doing a number of sites over the last 12 months, and been getting good feedback from that. I know there's been connectors being signed up, etc. So it's been good. It's been well received.
So we are here by invitation, so thank you guys for inviting us out to have this conversation with you. We are supported by all aspects of the industry. If you've worked in the industry more than 5 minutes, you may be aware that unions and bosses don't always see eye to eye on all subjects. We are one of the things that they do see eye to eye on. Everyone agrees it's a good thing, so they put the swords down and agree that we should be out here talking to our workers, trying to support people if we see them doing it tough. So this program is purely mates helping mates.
She voices it for all of us, really. You know, being blokes, and we have some of the females on site. We're pretty quiet with things, so Erin tends to bring it out with everyone, and then it gets everyone talking, and then it just starts the conversation, which is really good. Yeah, and once you get going, it's hard to stop us. I've done it 3 times now. Yeah, each time's probably a little bit different. Different people, different sites, and you get a different perspective with who's running it and what's going on. But the information's always good, and that's the main thing.
We're looking at strengthening some of that stuff at Evansbuilt, obviously on the back of a new rollout and a concerted effort to bring this to the front. We have an EAP, which everyone's available to have a chat to. Obviously, MIC has its own contact number as well, so it's about awareness of that and introduction to other opportunities as well. At Evansbuilt, we had a conversation with a number of our older hands, and when we were talking about committing to MIC, there's certainly, everyone was on board, especially 40% of our staff are people who've been with us longer than 10 years, and they'd been exposed to the mates in construction before. They were certainly on board to say, yeah, let's pick this up again and go. Everyone understands how important it is.
You can, it brings a bit more camaraderie into the site as well, so everyone's together on this. We're not sort of split up in our different zones, and we all have a chat. Sometimes a little bit of a laugh and a carry on, but at least it's the conversation, and that's what needs to happen.
We have a lot of repeat subcontractor base. We also touch a lot of subcontractor base who's in amongst a lot of the other Tier 2 and Tier 1s. So there's some good already knowledge in a lot of those subcontractors. I think we've just made it a policy that we're going to have mates construction training. It's important, and we'll try and address it early at tender review meetings, making sure that subcontractors are aware, be aware that they're going to give up some time at each site to get on board with this program.
Probably not as far as the suicide prevention, but talking to people, just being aware, and that's the biggest thing really. You can see what's going on and just asking people, if someone's got a crook kid or something like that, or not looking a bit worried, you can see that. So you might just say, mate, you're fine. Are you good? And you know that because you've been prompted with the GAT training. It starts in the office, so that they prompt it through us and just say we'd like all our sites to run through the GAT training, big or small, and then we just speak to mates, we ring them up, say can we book a GAT training in with you guys. It always happens, so they just try and work in with the dates that work in for us. We all stop before smoko and have a barbecue or something like that, and away we go.
I'd just like to say, with respect to mates construction, that the personnel like Nick and Erin who come out and are vibrant and engaging, certainly passionate about the growth of this awareness in the industry. It's hard not to be engaged. So good luck with that and continuing on the good work.